Well, hey friends and neighbors, this is Chuck out at Sheridan Park Farms. Welcome back to the farm. So we've got a little something different today. Saundra has a nephew who is, well, he's basically a single dad. He's got 3 kids that he has, I know at least 50% of the time. Every time we see him, he's got the kids with him. But he's got 3 kids. I'm not exactly sure what their ages are. Aaliyah's probably, I don't know, 12, 13, and then Chaselyn, the youngest one, is 5, maybe 6, I don't remember. Anyway, but they heat primarily with wood. And with him being a single dad, working, trying to take care of the kids, back and forth to school, ball games, all that kind of stuff, he just does not have a ton of time to be able to cut and split and dry wood. He heats primarily with wood. He does have a propane heater, but he heats primarily with wood. So we've got a bunch of wood here that we cut, split, and all that kind of stuff last fall. They've just got here, so let me show you what we're getting. We're gonna get them loaded up and make sure that him and his kids have plenty of wood so they can stay warm this winter. Oh, and Saundra has been filming a bunch of cooking stuff. I'll weave some of that in here too. Here's what William's taken. I measured it last night, and there's about 2.5 cords here. It measured out actually to 2.65, but we'd had some down here on the end that we'd pulled off just for different things, so it wasn't exactly 4 feet tall down there. So it ended up being, I think it was about 21 feet long, 4 feet high, and she's 4 feet wide. So divide that by 21 by 8, end up with 2.65. So I'm kind of rounding it down to 2.5 cords. So we're gonna help him get it loaded up, and he can get it home, get it stacked in his basement, and hopefully him and them youngins can stay warm this winter.
So today we're going to fix something Chuck dearly loves, and we only do it, he says, after the 1st of September, so we're on time. We're going to make some pumpkin spice coffee creamer. I make coffee creamer. We don't buy coffee creamer from the store, so I make it. And so this time of year, he really likes a pumpkin spice, so that's what we're going to do. And this recipe calls for 1 can of sweetened condensed milk, 1 3/4 cup of regular red label, I call it milk, just regular whole fat milk, and a teaspoon of pumpkin spice, and what else? 3 tablespoons of pumpkin puree. And I'm not talking about pumpkin pie filling, I'm talking about just plain pumpkin puree. Alright, we put our milk in here. And then this is my own pumpkin puree. I had a good friend of ours, Sarah, over at Seven Stands Farm, gave me a couple of pumpkins a couple years ago, and I roasted them and made puree out of them, and this is the best pumpkin I've ever had in my life, and she doesn't even know the name of it. But it's really good. So we'll do about 3 tablespoons of that. And I'm going to turn the heat on about medium. And then we're going to give it about a teaspoon and a half worth of pumpkin pie spice. And then also a teaspoon of vanilla. And that's it. We'll let this warm up and simmer for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to strain the solids out.
I tell you, I wouldn't have them. I wouldn't have them stack it much higher than the metal sides on that thing.
Okay.
Because it's going to be heavy.
Yeah.
Well, I told Dad if he didn't think his truck would pull it, we could use mine. He didn't think he'd have the bolt truck.
Well, it's not so much about the pulling as it is the stopping.
Well, I can stop it too.
And then the trailer's on the way.
Don't go up past the middle.
No, hey.
I think they're trying to go up to the sideboard. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, pop all rods.
There's a little bit of bush in there too. Where'd the other be?
It's called me every day this week. I'm gonna go get a trailer for him. Got 2 more trucks. Yours and then there's a white Chevrolet, but I just don't know if it can, that white Chevrolet's gonna be able to.
Well, if you want.
So when I put that pumpkin pie spice in there, and if you noticed it or not, it wanted to clump up. So I've taken my whisk and whisked it up really well, and that broke up all my clumps. Alright, this has been simmering for about 10 minutes now. And we'll take it over here and we're going to strain it. So what I have here is a jelly strainer, and I'm just going to put it over my bowl here. And then we're just going to pour this in. And now I'm going to try to do this without getting it everywhere. which I'm probably gonna do anyway. And we got her good out of that. So the only thing left is the pumpkin puree, and it's imparted most of its flavor to this creamer here, and we're going to put it in our jar and it's ready to go. And there we have it. Pumpkin spice creamer for coffee. One of Chuck's favorites.
Cut it down the hill so that the rear end goes down the hill. Well, right there. I think that's good. Yeah, hold on just a second. Wait till William gets down there, I need him to help me pull it. What is that? What is that racket? When you put it in, I guess you put it in gear, taking the brake off, it's a high pitch.
Opening the door, putting it in reverse. It dings every. We need to slide it that way.
Yeah, we need to go that way a little bit. There, you got it. Now, you're probably gonna need to pull up a little bit. If I can get the weight off. Yeah, we got it. We had to raise the ball. Because it's shutting out. Because and I think it'll ride better anyway. Oh yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Do we need to cross one more time?
Whatever you think.
Yeah.
We can if you want.
We'll cross one more time.
A little slack out of it.
Yeah. I don't believe they're hanging as low.
I don't
Maybe.
think so. Alright, so there's your pin. And then this thing has never hauled like it was supposed to, or rode like it was supposed to, so I don't know how to do that.
This is your breakaway.
Yeah, that's your breakaway. Adjust on that however you see fit.
All right, we're going to be making some barbecue sauce here, and we're going to start with 2 cups of ketchup. And I probably won't be putting my measurements on here. I'll try to, but I'll have a link in the description down below for a copy of this recipe. So there's our ketchup. And then we're going to be doing some apple cider vinegar. About a half a cup of that. And about a quarter cup of brown sugar. And then we'll do some honey, some Worcestershire sauce, and some lemon juice. And then we'll add a little bit of Texas Pete for some heat. And salt. Pepper. And garlic. And that's about it. I'll turn our burner on about medium and let this warm up. And we'll have some barbecue sauce for some baby back ribs we're going to be fixing tomorrow. I always like to fix my barbecue sauce a day or two ahead, so it can, all the flavors can be coming together and in the refrigerator.
Y'all, this is Matt. Matt, this is y'all. Hey. How's it going, buddy? Good, y'all. Working too hard for Sunday. Every day's about the same anymore. Every day's about the same anymore. And she called him on her money back. Her picture couldn't handle that. He said, that ain't my fault. Well, my lucky came when we was going on the trip. Well, that's what I mean. They'd have to go. You call me and I'll bring the big old bag dirt mess up there and bring it home.
And so this is my barbecue sauce. And we'll put it in the refrigerator and let it sit overnight.
All right, y'all, it's next morning. They got done kind of late in the afternoon, and I had company yesterday evening, and didn't get to film the end of this video, so I'm doing this next morning. And I just asked Saundra. She thinks Chaselyn, the youngest one, is closer to 4. Aaliyah, the oldest girl, is 11, and then Braxton, the little boy, just turned 6 3 days ago, actually. Just turned 6 a couple days ago. But anyway, glad to be able to help William out. Like I said, he's a single dad, and he's real busy with the kids. He works a full-time job, and it's just hard for him to have enough time to source, cut, split, stack, dry enough wood for them for the winter. And we had it, and it was stuff that we had cut and stacked and been drying all year. And I was glad to be able to let him have that and use it this winter to keep himself and keep those kids warm. So we're glad we were able to do that. You know, that's one of the things that we've been really blessed with is, and I think that's sort of the nature of a farm. There's always an abundance. And if you work, put a little effort into it, it don't take much to really create an abundance. I think that's part of the blessing of having a farm is having more than you need and being able to share with others. And we're real fortunate that we had plenty of wood that we could share with William and that he can use, like I say, this winter. I've got as much as we loaded on this trailer and sent out yesterday. I've got just as much, probably more, out there in the log yard from stuff where I bought loads of logs and stuff was crooked or got we know it's got metal in it because we can tell by staining and just not suitable for saw logs. And so I've got just as much wood out there as what we loaded up yesterday that I need to cut and split and stack and get it drying. And I'd like to rent, because I don't need one long term. I just don't do firewood like that. I'd like to rent a firewood processor. I think I could keep one busy for a day. I think if I had one for a day, I could get everything that's out there cut and split, and then stack it up over time so that it could dry. But I need to find one. I've looked locally. There's not anything here locally in Wilkes County. I think there may be one 2 counties over in Hickory. I've seen it advertised. It looks like it's for rent. There's a company. I don't remember the name of the company. I saw their website, and then they had a rental place where you click on rentals, and it looked like there was one in Hickory, but I've not called them to find out. I need to do that. Whenever things kind of slow down a little bit, we may do that. But I've got a bunch of work that needs to be done on this store building, and I think that's probably what I'm going to do today. So the next video y'all see may be the rest of this day, me out there at the sawmill cutting some rafters and some floor joists for the store building. Just so happens the company that I had yesterday was my buddy Matt, the guy that I bought the excavator off of, that I also buy a bunch of logs off of. He came by yesterday, picked up some beef, pork, and chicken, and we settled up on some stuff that he had delivered in the past. And I told him I needed some more, and so we got to talking about what all we need, or what all I need to finish that building. Well, I need sheeting for the roof, and I need interior walls, and I need flooring, and we need exterior sheeting, board and batten or lap side, whatever we end up doing like that. He said, "How much do you need?" And I said, "At this stage, just keep bringing it till I cry uncle." So we may end up with a bunch of stuff out here. And he asked me what I wanted. I said, "Man, I'll take whatever you got." Pine, we certainly need more pine for rafters and floor joists. And then whenever we get to doing, exterior siding, we can use poplar for that. We can use pine for that. We can use oak and maple. Those hardwood species for the flooring in the store, and also on the porch. We can use a little bit of everything. And I think that'll be nice to have a mix of species. I think that'll be cool to see the differences in the woods and the colors and the grain patterns and what those look like whenever you're gonna put up. But anyway, early in the morning, I got work to do. Like I always say, please keep us in your prayers. May God bless you and your families. We'll see you on the next video.